Hello and welcome to Stitched from My Stash. My name is Julie and this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about my makes, generally sewing, knitting, patchwork and quilting. So you're very welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the comments, subscriptions. It's really good to have you company. Today is a very windy day. I think it's called Storm Florin that we are experiencing up here in Scotland. So it's a good day to hunker down in my little creative space and have a chat. First of all, I'm going to talk about what I'm wearing, and generally the things I talk about in terms of what I'm wearing are things I've made a while ago because I have lots of homemade garments. I'm retired, I don't do any paid work, so really I don't need any more clothes. I do make new clothes, but these are ones I've made a few years ago. So first of all, the top is a Merchant and Mills pattern, which, looking through my patterns prior to doing the vlog, I was surprised that it was a Merchant and Mills. I think, according to my sewing journal, I made this in 2021, so it is a while ago. And if you look at the reverse of the pattern, it's probably a shortened version of this style. So it's called a dress pattern, but I must have shortened it to make a blouse, a top. Unfortunately, I don't put much detail in my sewing journal. All I've put is trapeze top using leftover fabric, size 12. I like this one. So I do like it. It's linen. I will add some photos either side of me wearing it, but I'll stand up here to show it's a blocked colourway. And I thought I had narrowed the shoulders, but I haven't put that in my notes. I am quite narrow shouldered, so, and I have narrowed the shoulders on some patterns. So sorry, I can't give much more detail on that because I haven't written it down. So as I said, I will add some photos. It does have an interfacing here, which is quite comfy. It's a pullover style, so there's no zip or buttons, and it is a very comfy wear. I like this, the length of the sleeves. Yeah, I think that's quite a nice length, not too long. Yeah, so I like that part of the style. So I will write the pattern details on the bottom. And I now talk about the trousers I'm wearing, which are an older pattern, which I bought in a charity shop. And I don't have a note when I did these, so it must have been around about 2021, because I said it's leftover fabric. So these are the trousers. And I spoke about a favourite pattern of trousers last week, which was the Vogue pattern. This is another favourite of mine. because it has a higher waist, and I really don't favour the hip waist trousers. So these are sitting on the hips with darts at the front, and to be honest, I had to put a little bit of weight on. I did make these a few years ago and they didn't quite fit me, but I've lost a little bit, not much. So they are fitting me again now, and they are a really comfy wear. So it's a new look pattern. I doubt if it's in print now, but as I've said before, it's always worth looking at eBay for old patterns. So I've made the trousers from this. I've made the skirt. I can't remember if I made the top, but the trousers I've made 2 pairs at least. I think I made another brown pair, but I don't know where they are. So the linen came from Abercorn near Rhyl in North Wales. As I said before, when we lived in North Wales, I used to go to Abercorn, which is a fabulous haberdashery, fabric, knitting, craft store, and really stock up. So I had quite a lot of this brown. It's a really nice weight linen. And there is another item to go with the outfit, which I'll show now. And it's if I just put this back a bit, it's a jacket, which possibly the colours have changed slightly because I would have washed this more. I haven't washed this at all. I don't know why I'm saying I washed it more. So there might be a slight colour change, but in real life, the colours don't look that different, to be honest. So this pattern is from this design, and this, I didn't buy this in a charity shop, so whether or not they still have this in print, not sure. But I like the shape of this jacket. I have made at least another one, a navy blue one, which I've worn much more than this, because as you've noticed from my colour palette, I have a lot of blue things. So, but I'm pleased with this. It's a nice, slightly fitted style. And what else to say? The buttons, I think they came from a charity shop or from my stash. And the lining, if I just undo the buttons here, the lining came from my late mother's stash, and it's a sort of the slinky lining, which, as I've learned, is much easier to put on. So that's the lining. It's got a nice feel to it. The lining gives it a bit of weight, and there's panels. It's in panels. I did consider ironing it. I iron linen inside out, so I could have got a damp cloth and done it that way. But to be honest, I didn't get around to it. So I like this style of jacket. I think because it's got quite a pretty shape on the collar, and it's fitted. I can see here my lining is a bit long on that sleeve, but hey ho. So that's a nice little addition to the trousers as a trouser suit. So I will add a video, as I said, at some point. I'll either add it between this little segment, or I'll try and add it within the segment. Let's say I'm going to add it in the segment. Let me try and enhance my technical skills. So that's what I'm wearing. I am going to tick that off. And I'm going to talk about my one finished item, which is the little baby cardigan, which I actually finished this morning. Sewed the buttons on and finished one of the ribs. And again, I'll add a photo here of the little cardigan using acrylic yarn from my stash and 4mm needles. It's a double knit pattern, a free download of Ravelry, and I've made quite a lot of these. But I like the colour combination. I think that's quite vibrant or tutti frutti. I think it's pretty. And as I've said in the past, it's to go with this crochet blanket and the little hat I showed last week. So that pack is all done. The buttons came from my stash, and I did leave some out on the table, but my table's a bit, oh, there they are. So I've got a few more of those pinky ones, and I think these probably came from Abercorn in, I don't know if it's in the sale. They do packs. I've said this before. If you're ever near an Abercorn, I would definitely call in. And they have these sales twice a year, I think for 2 days. Anyway, you can get bundles of buttons and stuff. So I think they came from there. And I think, again, they're a nice sweet colour to add to this little cardie. So that's finished. I did go over it with a steam iron, not touching the garment because it is acrylic. But that's as much blocking I did. And I think it has flattened it out and made it more even. So that's the blocking done. I wouldn't do more than that on an acrylic garment. So that can go there. Anything else I need to say about that? No. As I said, I will add a photo one side just to show the cardigan. Now, a work in progress, which is quite well along the journey to being finished, which is the quilt. Now, I've seen some people on YouTube call this the flimsy. It's the patchwork top, which is now sewn together. Each block comes out at about 31.5 inches, and that's plenty. I will add some photos of the quilt because it's quite difficult to show it here, but I'm really pleased with it, with the way the top looks. I wouldn't say these are my colours. I'm more blues and pinks, but I think it's turned out quite effective. So I'll add some photographs here of the quilt top, plus some photographs of the variety of combinations I toyed with for the log cabin design. According to Andrew, my partner, I didn't bother doing the maths. With these 4 blocks, you can have at least 16 different combinations in which to place your finished blocks. So I've gone for the lighter blocks in the middle, which makes a nice square. And I'm really pleased with that. It's going to be a throw for our lounge, which I will show next time in situ when it's quilted. I forgot to add the little video of this outfit was taken in our dining room, which we've nearly finished, which is pinks. so it goes with this outfit. But again, I will show a bit more of that when we're totally done. So that's the quilt. I am going to say a bit more about the quilt. The backing, I have done the back, and I thought I had enough of this as a whole piece, but I didn't. So I've joined on, again, I'll add a photograph. I've joined on some white and the dark brown panels to make the piece big enough to do the backing. So that's done. And to be honest, I was hoping, I was working on this yesterday, and I was hoping to do the basting yesterday, but because I had to join these panels to make the backing big enough, that took up too much time, and it was 8 o'clock, and I'm not one who can do sewing late. I could knit late, so I called it a day at about 8 o'clock last night, and I will get on with the basting and then the quilting this week, and then hopefully it'll be finished for next Monday. What else to say about the quilt? I did purchase, again, I'll add a photograph, a large piece of wadding, 7.5 meters by 90 inches wide, from this company, Morris Works Quilt Shop, which is East Sussex, so it's come quite a way, and they send a nice little card, which I think is sweet, which says, "Happy quilting, Julie. Warm regards, Jackie." So that's quite nice. But I'm pleased I bought that wadding. I think it'll come in. I do have quite a few quilts planned. That piece was £88.35, which I think was good value. It's cotton wadding, so it'll give a really nice feel for the quilt. Anything else I need to say about the quilt? I did, perhaps I'll talk about this when it's finished as well. I did do one of the strips in the wrong place, and I tried to rectify it without undoing the whole thing. I think I'd only done about 3 or 4 more rows, but I had to undo it in the end. It wasn't good enough. So that's the quilt, which I'm pleased with, and hopefully that'll be quilted this week. So my plans for the coming week are to do this, plus I've ordered and downloaded some new knitting patterns, and I fancied making some little cuddlies to go with, sorry about that, I fancied making some little cuddlies to go with the blankets, cardigans and hat packs I make. So I had a good look on Ravelry and found these, and it's little cotton rabbits. You don't have to use cotton, I don't think, but you can see the size of them in somebody's palm, and I will put the names in the description. This is Julie Williams, Little Cotton Rabbits. So I ordered that one, which are cute. Bunnies. I think these are a bit bigger, and these have, I think, removable clothes. With these, the clothes are attached, and then these little mice. So I'm looking forward to doing those. It does say can I say it? Intermediate knitter, which I think I probably am. But there's always advice on the internet, isn't there? So that's my plans for the week, to start one of those and finish off my quilt. I should also go back to the embroidery that I put on hold. And hopefully now that we have more or less finished the dining room, I will have a bit more time. I have been going to the sports centre, although I did cancel a class today because of the wind. I'm not advisable to go out in this bad wind. We did go on a lovely hill walk on Friday, which I'll add some photos here, and it was a Munro, so 930 meters. I was struggling on the way down, but it was spectacular. I'm not sure, I didn't take any photos. Andrew might have taken a few, so I'll see what I can add. But that was a lovely day and a home day today. So I think that's it for now, and I hope you're going to do some stitching this week. I'm going to, and keep our chins up, keep our creating going, and hopefully see you next week. Bye for now.